Bookworms, welcome to Weekend Readers Book Club. Thank you for joining us. In this episode, we are discussing the book I went blindly into, Jasper Jones by Craig Silvey. Now, as discussed on the last podcast, this book here, I haven't Googled anything, haven't read anything, haven't even read the back blurb of the book, and I've gone into this completely blind. Thank you, Brian, my book guy, recommended to do it this way, so that's what I've done. What I'm going to do to tell you the summary of the book, I'm just going to actually read the back blurb of the book, because I haven't read it yet, so here it is. Actually, flag that, I've just read the back blurb as a whole heap of words. Yeah. So this story, I'll just give you my take on it. This story is about a girl who gets murdered, and she's from a small town, and the small town has to cope with the murder and carry on with life. The family who the girl is related to has to deal with that grief, and if you get my drift, there might be some dodginess going in and around in the small town, like some people doing some shady shit. But yeah, that's the story, and the story is mainly about a guy named Charlie. However, there is a supporting character called Jasper Jones. So yeah, that's where the book's named from. It's named after a character in the book. So, I have read the book, and here is my review and discussion of Jasper Jones by Craig Silvey. Okay, I'm going to start off the bat just with the name of the book. I get why it's called Jasper Jones. I get how everything translates in relation to what went on in the town, be it factual or unfactual. Jasper Jones was involved or not, or impacted. I get the narrative behind Jasper Jones. I don't know why you call the book Jasper Jones, though, because Jasper Jones isn't really the main character in the book, which is surprising. It's Charlie. However, in saying that, Jasper Jones is important to the story, so I get it in relation to why he's there, potentially why the name is called Jasper Jones. I'm just perplexed at why they just didn't call it Charlie's name, but I mean, that's just me. Yeah, but yeah, name of the book, a bit confusing. Now, that's the only thing I was confused about, and that's not even a bad thing. It was just a nitpick I had. So everything else moving forward, gravy. So this book, first off, amazing. I really enjoyed this book. Okay, let's get into it. We start off hot. Chapter 1, we are dropped into what I think is the main storyline, the main storyline arc of the story. A young lady has been murdered. It's simply that. We now need to figure out who did it, why, and we're introduced to two characters, Jasper Jones and Charlie. Charlie, the book is predominantly from Charlie's perspective. Charlie is a classmate of everybody and is friends with the girl who's died, her younger sister. Her younger sister and Charlie are friends. So there's a couple of age years between them. So it's written by Charlie's point of view. Chapter 2, while giving us all the awesomeness in Chapter 1, Chapter 2 slows right down. And then we take it back multiple layers and we start world setting. I was complexed by this initially because I was like, oh, we started off really hot, but now we've gone completely cold in relation to the narrative of the book, but it was world setting, and then we slowly picked this up through the chapters going along. Should I say, this book only got 9 chapters in it, so we do the slow burn and we pick ourselves back up. The story starts, as I said originally, the girl's been murdered and the town has to react in relation to a missing girl, then potentially a murdered girl, or potentially a girl that's just ran away, and everybody reacts differently in relation to this. The children react differently, the adults of the children react differently, and we just cover the day-to-day of a small town in Australia. This book name drops a hell of a lot of classic authors, classic books I haven't heard of. I ended up Googling these people that it mentions in this book in relation to Mark Twain. Was it Mark Twain? Yeah. Breakfast at Tiffany's, Zoe and somebody else, that book. There is the How to Kill a Mockingbird. There is, I think it was Mark Twain who did The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn and somebody else. All these classic novels are mentioned in this book. And I was taken back going, oh, they might just be made up stuff, but they're actually real. And I'm like, so I may actually start to, branch down and start reading some of these books that were named in this Jasper Jones book, because it was really intriguing. I found it a lot of fun. Okay, so the story carries on. As I said, it carries on with the town carrying on life with the possibility of a girl being murdered, a girl disappearing, or a girl being lost. It goes between different stages of that. Halfway through the book, I sort of had this premonition that I thought, maybe it was Charlie that killed the girl. I don't know why. I was just like, maybe it was. Anywho, from page 319 onwards, the story picks up, and boy, did it pick up really great. At this time, we find out that Charlie and the girl's sister, the girl who's been lost, murdered, or died, her sister, Eliza, they are a thing, but not a thing, but actually confirmed to be a thing. So they're just teenage love affair sort of stuff. They start hanging out, and then the story really picks up, which is a lot of fun. The supporting cast of this book is great. You got Eliza, you got Charlie's best mate Jeffrey, you've got Jasper Jones as well. You've also got Charlie's parents, which is an intriguing story in itself, solely from the parents' point of view. A lot of fun. Overall, wonderful book, twists and turns everywhere, and they were very subtle though. They weren't just shock value. From the reset of chapter 2 all the way up to chapter 9, I was very well entertained, very well happy, very well on track in relation to the momentum that we were seeing forward to get to that end point of the story. Ending was good too. Ending was pretty weird. And I'm not going to spoil it for you, but yeah, I enjoyed it because it was it came full circle. And man, I just wish that, we could have killed a couple of characters off. Well, actually just one character. We won't say who at the end, but, yeah. Calm as a bee. Overall, a great read. The question is, will Jasper Jones by Craig Silvey be going onto my bookshelf? The answer is absolutely yes. This book is amazing. I had so much fun reading this book. It was I don't know if it was just the simple fact that I didn't have any indication of what this book was about and I was going in completely blind. Thank you for telling me to do that, Brian. But it was, even though I went into it blind, the read was just enjoyable. It was easy to follow, easy flowing, and yeah, great read overall. So Jasper Jones, Craig Silvey, you have made my bookshelf. So as a custom here on the Weekend Readers, as one book closes, another book has to open, and it is now time to find out what the next read for the Weekend Readers Book Club is. Now, originally the plan in Jasper Jones, Eliza reads 2 books. Breakfast at Tiffany's and Zoe and Frankie, I think it's called. I was planning to read those 2 books. I managed to pick them up at the library. However, my son came home and was like, Dad, I went to the library at school and I found this awesome book that you should read because you really like it because you love the basketball. So I couldn't say no. So Bookworms, the next read for the Weekend Readers, is as brought to you by my 8-year-old. Legends, the best players, games, and teams in basketball by Howard Bryant. That's what we're reading. It's non-fiction, aimed at kids. It's a pretty hefty hardcover book from the school library. We're going to give that a whirl. Legends, the best players, games and teams in basketball. Howard Bright, you are the next read for the Weekend Readers Book Club. So Bookworms, that was my review and discussion of Jasper Jones by Craig Silvey. This book, as I said, thoroughly enjoyed it. The first chapter, you're like, bang, straight into it. And then that second chapter does start off slow. And as I said, I was taken aback by it. But if you find it struggling, just keep on reading because it will slowly pick up. And then you're sort of on a wild ride. This book had everything. It had cricket. Some of you listening to this won't even know what cricket is. But I had cricket in this book. I love it. But yeah, so that's the podcast. I enjoyed it. Jasper Jones, Craig Silvey, great book. So Bookworms, thank you for listening to me rant and rave and go on about this book. And until next time, happy reading.